Most children spend months learning how to take their first steps, but what if I told you that there is a faster way to teach your child to walk that's also safe? Pediatric therapists have been using this simple system for years. It's called the cruise method, and it's a 4-step system that helps babies walk weeks and sometimes a month earlier than expected. By the end of this video, you'll discover the exact 4-step system that will take your little one from simply pulling up to stand all the way to taking their first independent steps. Now, before you start to worry, this isn't some pushy method that forces your child to walk before they're developmentally ready. The cruise method actually works with your child's natural development timeline. Instead of forcing anything, it simply recognizes when your child is ready and creates the perfect environment for them to succeed. So, how do you know if your child is ready to start? Well, it's really simple. If your little one is already pulling themselves up to stand at furniture, whether that's your couch, coffee table, or dining room chairs, they're telling you that they're developmentally ready to begin. And that means you can start with step 1, the lean and reach. Now, this step is crucial because to walk, you need to be able to shift your entire body weight onto one leg while lifting the other leg to take a step forward. And this is exactly why we start with the lean and reach. This is a very simple activity that teaches that foundational skill of weight shifting through play. And here's how to do it. When your little one is standing at the couch or the coffee table, simply place their favorite toy to their side instead of directly in front of them. You want to keep it within reach, but just position their toys so that they need to stretch out slightly to grab them. When your little one does reach out for that toy to grab it, they will automatically shift their body weight onto the leg closest to the toy. And this is them practicing weight shifting. Now, here is the crucial part. You always want to make sure that you alternate which side you place the toys on. For example, you might place the toys on the right and then switch it to the left and then go back again to the right. This ensures that your child will develop equal strength and balance on both sides of their body, which is absolutely essential for confident walking later on. Once your child is grabbing those toys with ease, they're ready for step 2, the sideways shuffle. Now, this is where things get really exciting because you're about to see your child take their very first sideways step. But here's the thing, your child doesn't know that they can step sideways yet. They've mastered reaching and weight shifting, but coordinating those muscles to actually step to the side, that's completely new. So you need to provide a little bit of motivation for them to attempt that first sideways step. And the way you do that is simple. Instead of placing the toy within reach like you did in step 1, you're going to position it so that it's close enough that they can clearly see their favorite toy and desperately want it, but just far enough away that they can't reach it without taking a step. Getting this distance right is everything. Too close and there's no motivation to move, they'll just stretch further. Too far away and they'll either crawl to get it or they'll decide it's not worth the effort and give up entirely. Now, once you've positioned that toy in the magic zone, your child is going to look at the toy, reach out and realize that they can't quite get it and then do one of 2 things. They'll take that small sideways step to grab it, and if that happens, celebrate because that's exactly what you want to see. Or they'll stretch as far as humanly possible, maybe get a little frustrated or give you that help me look, but they won't take a step. If your little one falls into this category, it's okay. They just need a little bit of guidance to understand how this whole stepping thing works. And there are 2 techniques that you can use. Now, which one you use simply depends on which one your child responds to best. The first technique is called the leg lift method. Now, to do this one, just place both your hands on their legs. Then, when they reach for that toy, gently lift the leg closest to the toy and help them take a step to the side. Then you would just watch and see if they automatically follow with the other leg. If they don't, you would simply lift that leg too, and then you'll continue helping them take those sideways steps until they reach the toy. The second technique is called the hip guide method, and to do this one, you would just place your hands on their hips, and then when they reach for that toy, you would gently push down on the hip furthest from the toy. This naturally shifts their weight and encourages them to lift the closer leg and take that step. Again, you would watch to see if they automatically follow with the other leg, and if they don't, you would gently push down on the opposite hip, and then you'll continue to help them take those sideways steps until they reach the toy. Now, with consistent practice using these techniques, you'll start seeing your child attempt those sideways steps independently, and soon they'll be cruising along the entire length of your couch like a little pro. Now, when you see your child cruising confidently, you might think, great, it's time to walk, and want to encourage them to let go and walk across the room or to you. Now, I totally get this excitement, but you want to hold off for just a little bit longer, as your child still needs time to build and refine their muscle strength, balance, and coordination skills so that they can walk independently. And that's exactly what steps 3 and 4 are designed to do. So when your little one is cruising easily along the couch, don't rush ahead. Instead, move on to step 3, the furniture bridge. This step is super simple. You're just teaching your child that they can move from one piece of furniture to another instead of only going back and forth on the couch. And here's what you do. Find a sturdy chair, ottoman, or a coffee table and place it at 90 degrees to your couch. Now you want to make sure that it's close enough that your child can hold on to both the couch and, for example, the chair at the same time. Then simply place their favorite toy on the chair and just wait. Your child will see the toy, reach over to the chair with one hand, take a step to get there, and then grab the chair with both hands to then play with that toy. And that's exactly what you want to see. They've just learned that they can move between furniture pieces. Now, to help them practice, you want to keep moving that toy back and forth between the couch and the chair so they get used to this movement. Once they're doing this easily, which is usually after just a few tries, they're ready for step 4, the confidence gap. And this is the moment that you've been waiting for. This is where all the preparation pays off and your child goes from needing furniture support to taking those magical independent steps. Now, the confident gap works in 2 phases, and the secret is starting small and gradually building their confidence. For the first phase, you just want to take that second piece of furniture and position it directly across from the couch. But again, here's the key. You want to place it close enough that your little one can stretch out and touch both pieces of furniture at the same time. This close positioning gives your child the security of knowing that they can always grab onto something if they need to. Then you just place their favorite toy on the chair or the box or whatever you have and watch what happens. What you should see is your child turn around while holding onto the couch with one hand and take a step across to grab the other piece of furniture. Then you just want to let them practice this back and forth movement several times until they get comfortable with this supported stepping motion. Once they're moving confidently between the furniture pieces, it's time for phase 2. And this is where you move that second piece of furniture just a tiny bit further away from the couch. So it should be just enough that they can't quite reach it while they're holding onto the couch. Then you would place the toy on that furniture and step back. What will happen is your child will look at that toy, reach out towards that piece of furniture and realize they can't quite make it while holding onto the couch, and then they'll let go and take their very first step. Now, when this happens, you might want to shout, "Good job," or "You're so clever." And I totally get that excitement. But here's something I've learned. Saying these phrases all the time can actually make kids feel like they always have to perform for us. So instead, just try to describe what you see. So you might say, "Wow, you took a step," or "Wow, you reached the chair." This type of praise is way more genuine and takes the pressure off our kids. Now, if you want more tips like this, because honestly, the way we talk to our kids matter just as much as these physical skills, I've got a free guide called 8 Parenting Phrases to Rethink and What to Say Instead, which you can get by clicking the link in the description. Okay, so after you've celebrated together, you want to let them practice this one-step gap over and over until they're confidently letting go and stepping forward every time. And then gradually, and I mean really gradually, you want to make that gap slightly larger, so they need to take 2 steps and then 3 steps and then 4 steps and so on. And before you know it, they won't need any furniture at all. They'll realize that they can just walk wherever they want to go. Now, here's the thing. Once your little one starts walking independently, their whole world opens up and they suddenly become this mobile, curious little person who wants to explore everything, but they don't always want to do what you're asking them to. For example, you say, "Come here," and they walk off in the opposite direction. or you try to change their diaper and they're squirming around like crazy trying to escape. Now, although this is frustrating, it is totally normal. They're little humans with their own thoughts, feelings, and moods, and just like us, they have off days when they simply don't want to cooperate. But here's the good news. There are 4 simple strategies that can convince any toddler to cooperate without bribes, threats, or power struggles. And in this video, I break down exactly what they are and how to use them to get your little one on board, even on their most resistant days. So if you want to be prepared for this next phase of your little one's development, make sure you check it out because trust me, you'll want to know these strategies.